Assalamu alaikum students. I am Dr. Romana Haroon. I will be taking your histology practical in second year. So starting with the first system, that is the GIT. Today's practical is on tongue. Tongue is an accessory digestive organ. It is a muscular organ which is covered by a thin mucous membrane. And it has got mucosa which is made up of epithelium, and the epithelium is a stratified squamous epithelium, and the lamina propria which is lying just below it. And as the surface of the tongue is divided into two aspects, the upper one or the superior one is called as the dorsal surface. It is roughened, and the lower surface or the inferior surface is also called as the ventral surface. It is smooth. The main difference between the dorsal and the ventral surface lies in its epithelium. The dorsal surface has got an stratified squamous keratinized epithelium, while the ventral surface has got a stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. On the dorsal surface, we see there is a demarcation between the anterior 2/3 and the posterior 1/3, and that area is called as the sulcus terminalis. Now coming over to the histological layers of the tongue, the first one is the mucosa, which includes the epithelium and the underlying core of connective tissue, which is called as the lamina propria. Just below it is the submucosa, and in the center or the third layer is the core of skeletal striated muscle, which are running in all directions. As I have told you that the mucosa on the dorsal surface is stratified squamous keratinized epithelium, and the dorsal surface bears large number of lingual papilla on it. Just below it is the loose connective tissue along with blood vessels and nerves, and the second layer is the submucosa. It has got minor salivary glands that secrete both mucus and serous secretion. Then in the center, as you can see, that there is a core of skeletal striated muscle which are running in all directions. Now the mucous membrane on the ventral surface is thin, smooth, and loosely attached to the underlying connective tissue. It is freely mobile and not raised into papilla because epithelium is closely adherent to the underlying muscles by a very thin lamina propria. It is covered with non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. Now coming over to the lingual papilla, they are formed of a central core of connective tissue along with blood vessel. As you can see in the diagram that this diagram is showing papilla of different shape, and in the center you can see that there is connective tissue along with blood vessels, and deep to it is the striated muscle which are running in different directions. And so on the basis of their shape, the lingual papilla are divided into four basic types. Number one is the filiform papilla, that is finger-like, then the fungiform papilla, and the circumvallate papilla, and foliate papillas. So coming over to the first one, that is the filiform papilla, as you can see in the diagram, they are the most numerous of the lingual papilla, and but they do not have any taste bud in them. So this is the main difference, and this is usually asked during your viva, long slide viva, that first of all that you should name the lingual papilla, then in which of them the taste buds are present, and in which none of them are present, and also which are more numerous, which are less So in the coming slides, I will make each of these points clear to it. So first we are discussing the filiform papilla. They are the most numerous and they are present all over the tongue, but they do not have any taste bud in them. And the filiform papilla is covered by the stratified squamous keratinized epithelium that tapers to a point that is directed backward. As you can see in the diagram, the epithelium and the connective tissue core and the covering epithelium is a stratified squamous keratinized epithelium. And because of its thread-like appearance, it is called as the phylum, that is the filiform. Now coming over to the next one, it is the fungiform, which is also present in this diagram in the center between the two filiform. You can see that it has got a mushroom shape. They are less numerous, and what is the site of their presence? They are present on the tip and the side of the tongue, and they have got taste bud in them also. The fungiform papilla are also covered by the stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium, and each papilla bears a large number of taste buds on them. So, okay, coming over to the third variety, which is called as the circumvallate papilla of the tongue. They are much larger than any of the other ones that we have discussed, and they are about 8 to 12. What is the site of the location? They are located in the posterior region of the tongue, just next to the sulcus terminalis, and they have got deep furrows next to each of the papilla. Now in this furrow, the small salivary glands are opening, which are called as the von Ebner glands. They open. They are actually serous lingual glands. When you see the circumvallate papilla, the epithelium which is covering the papilla is a stratified squamous non-keratinized, and it has got the core of the papilla, that is the lamina propria of the mucosa of the dorsal surface of tongue, and it also bears large number of taste buds in them. So the duct of the glands open into the base of the groove which is surrounding the circumvallate papilla. And as I've told you that the secretion of the von Ebner gland is serous. So the main function is that they are providing the watery secretion which serves to flush the food materials out of these grooves so that the taste bud can respond to the changing taste stimuli very rapidly. So this is the function. So we again in this diagram you can see the circumvallate papilla which is surrounded by a wall. They are about 8 to 12 papilla, and they are located just anterior to the sulcus terminalis. Each of the circular papilla is surrounded by the deep groove where is the opening of the von Ebner glands present. Then there is the fourth variety which is called as the foliate papilla, and the foliate papilla are actually leaf-like in shape. They are well developed in many animals, but however they are not present in the adult tongue of the human being. However, they can be identified in young children. But with progressing age, they undergo gradual atrophy, and in old people, these papilla may not be recognizable at all. The epithelium that is covering it is the non keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. So let's discuss these lingual papilla again. That is, the filiform papilla is covered by the stratified squamous keratinized epithelium, and they are the most numerous ones. While the fungiform, circumvallate, and the foliate papilla, they are covered by the non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. There, then the second difference is that the filiform papilla, the shape is thread-like. Fungiform, they are mushroom-shaped. Circumvallate papilla, they are somewhat rounded in shape, while the foliate papilla are leaf-like in their shape. Then comes the third difference, that is the presence of the taste bud. Filiform papilla, although they are most numerous and covering most of the dorsal surface of the tongue, but they do not have any taste bud in them. While the fungiform, circumvallate, and the foliate papilla are having taste buds in them. Then the difference comes in their location. Filiform, they are distributed over most of the entire dorsal surface of the tongue. That is the anterior two-third of the tongue. While the fungiform papilla, they are mushroom shaped and they are present on the abundant in the region close to the tip of the tongue. While the circumvallate papilla, they are about 8 to 12 in number and they are located in just anterior to the V-shaped sulcus terminalis. While the foliate papilla, they are located on the side of the tongue as parallel low ridge and they are separated by the mucosal furrows. Now coming over to the function of the papilla, the lingual papilla, number one, increase the surface area of the dorsal surface of the tongue and therefore they make the surface rough also. Number two is that they increase the tongue's ability to manipulate food bolus and to position the food between the teeth and during mastication. All lingual papilla except the filiform papilla bear taste buds and thus they play an important role in the perception of taste of materials which are taken into the mouth. So this completes the lingual papilla, their shape, location, and in total the function of the papillas. Now, another thing that you should be knowing in the histology of the tongue is the structure of the taste bud. Taste bud, as you can see in the diagram, it is an onion-shaped structure in the epithelium of the lingual papilla. And in which papillas? Can you recall? Yes, they are the fungiform, circumvallate and foliate papillas and not in the filiform papilla. So, the taste buds are the receptor for the taste sensation and a taste bud is composed of 50 to 90 cells and they are divided into three main types. Number one is the sustentacular cells, which are elongated cell, and you can see they are also called as the supporting cells. They are extending from the basal lamella to the taste pore. The taste pore is present on the top, just close to the epithelium. And then we have discussed the first cell, which is the supporting cell. You can see the supporting cell. The other name for it is the sustentacular cell. Then comes the neuroepithelial cells or the gustatory cells. And these are the taste cells or the type 3 cells and they are elongated tall columnar cells that extend from the basal lamina to the taste pore and they have got what? They have got nerve endings in them. At their base, the taste cell forms synapses with the efferent nerve fibers through which the taste sensation is carried to the central nervous system. So, the lighter ones, as you can see in the diagram, the lighter cells, which are also pyramidal or tall columnar, extending from the base to the taste pore above, are lightly staining and they have got nerve endings in them. While the supporting cells, they are darkly staining. Then comes another type of cells which are called as the basal cell, as you can see in the diagram. These are small, roughly oval cells which are located close to the basal lamina and they are not extending up to the taste pore or the opening. These cells, they are actually serving as the stem cells for other cells of the taste bud. So, in this diagram, you will have to draw this diagram also. Is showing above is the stratified squamous epithelium of the tongue. Then there is the opening which is called as a taste pore and it has got gustatory microvilli in them. Then the taste bud is composed of 50 to 90 cells, which are of two types: the darker ones extending from the basal lamina to the opening of the taste pore are the supporting cell. They are taking up the darker staining with the hematoxylin eosin. Then are the lighter ones, which are also called as the neuroepithelial cells. They have got nerve endings in them, which will carry the different types of sensations of taste to the central nervous system. And then they are also called as the gustatory receptor cell. Then, as you can see in this diagram also, that there are small oval shaped cells which are not extending up to the taste pore opening, are the basal cell, which are actually roughly oval shape, and they are located close to the basal lamina. I hope this is structure. Then there are, you will study in your lecture, there are other type of glands which are present in the tongue. They are simple tubular or tubuloacinar glands. Their names are anterior lingual glands, von Ebner's gland, and I have told you the openings of the von Ebner glands is in the trench-like area of the circumvallate papilla, just close to the sulcus terminalis. Then is the mucous glands of the root. They are also numerous and are purely mucous glands. This will be more clear to you in the lecture. I hope this brief account of the tongue, along with its histological appearance, lingual papilla, taste bud, I hope this practical is clear to you. So dear students, you will have to draw the diagram of the tongue from your D4A's atlas. I will also share the picture of the diagram in your respective histology practical group, and you will have to draw the tongue, label it properly. Then number 2, you will have to draw all the three types of the lingual papilla in your copies, and you will have to write which type of the papilla is, what is its shape, and then you will have to draw the proper structure of microscopic structure of the taste bud, which is drawn in your histology book. So there will be number 1, diagram of the tongue, number 2, the diagram of the three lingual papilla, number 3, the diagram of the taste bud. You will have to draw these diagrams. You will have to write the short note of the practical on the side of your copy, and then after completing it, you will have to send me the diagram and its the written work assignment on my email address that I will share in the group respectively. Your attendance will be marked according to the your submission of assignment. So on Monday the batch will be batch C, then batch B, and then batch A. So the batch C should send their assignment to me till Tuesday morning. Similarly, the next batch. So I request the class rep to properly make 3 batches, and then on that you will have to submit your attendance at 1 p.m. after listening to the histology practical lecture, and your attendance will be counter checked with the assignment that I will receive on that day. That is Monday for the batch C, Tuesday for the batch B, and Wednesday for batch A. And the time limit will be till 9 p.m. After that, I will mark you absent for that practical. So please kindly make a note of it. Thank you.